So the other one might still be processing. I just want to check a couple quick things. See, it's hard to turn away on YouTube because, like, you know, how do you? Well, there's a way actually. There's always a way where there's a will. Just kidding. Well, but sometimes, hopefully, right? Doesn't want to show up there. I'll do it on this one. So I'm just waiting for viewers to come in. Trying to check something in the meantime, and the tabs are being really slow. But ironically, and this I feel, not that I needed proof because I've had experience with my own loved ones and occasionally helping others, when I'm able to, when I'm given an opportunity to, when it comes up. But one of the tabs I had open, and honestly, most of the ones I have open are not on this theme of stuff. But one of the tabs I have open is actually somebody that does this who lives in my hometown. And I tried 3 different tabs to try and load something to see, while I was, waiting for this to kind of start up more. And the other 2 didn't respond, but that one did. That one that fit with the theme of this. So, Angel Spirit, warning, your connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. And then we have a viewer tune in. I've never seen that, but anyway. Okay, so I have more experience channeling my own, so I know who they are. I know that they passed, that kind of stuff, and I have confidence, but I have more confidence in other things I do. I'll just say that. However, if there is a loved one that has passed away, we just started this podcast, but for the viewer that just tuned in, if you would be so kind as to comment, I'd like to hear from my such and so. Anything else you want to say, you're welcome to. Otherwise, yeah, and I'm not sure if you're someone who's seen it, but I haven't done a lot of this on this channel. I just did a video that may even still be processing, but it got a bit long. It wasn't the only focus, but I channeled one of my workers I had when I was young, like a youth worker, and my dad, actually. And honestly, it's been a long time since, well, it's been kind of a long time since I've done this stuff. And that was very nice, very special. It was kind of hard just to kind of give a little recap, a little summary, whatever. I actually felt like I did actually see my dad tearing up a little bit. At the same time, beaming with a smile, proud of me, like he's told me, like I feel like I've been saying my brother lives a posh life lately. And I remember a while back, and I truly have actually never forgotten it. He said to me, I'm proud of you both in different ways, but wanting to make sure that we knew that he was proud of us both. Because sometimes I'll think, well, what's he have to be proud of for me? Because I've been struggling. But so he was happy that I sensed him, happy to be here, be there with me at the time, but sad knowing I'm struggling. And we had a viewer there for like 2 minutes. Sad, not knowing exactly what to do to help. As far as like opportunities or whatever, I know he said that even though in a lot of ways I kind of don't, and he only lived here briefly in his early 30s, I think. He says that I know the area a lot better, or I know things that are out in where I live better than he does, which may or may not be entirely true, but whatever. Essentially, he didn't know what to suggest. So I'll be back because the viewer left. I wonder if they're thinking about, should I come and ask something? And I think the answer is yes, because why should it be all for me? And yeah, I did do a sound check, and that viewer wouldn't stay that long if the sound wasn't working. So I guess it works whether the speaker's in it or not. I don't know, something like it doesn't, but obviously it has to be in it. Whew. Yeah, I'm wearing a shirt that has writing on it, so I kind of want to keep this thing on. I actually haven't been overly warm in this room, although sometimes I am. But I want to keep it on because the writing's a little bit distracting, perhaps. I'll take this one because it's a little less cold for my teeth. So I think I'm going to set myself a limit here. It's still an hour before Lynn gets home, but I think I'm going to set myself a limit here of, I don't know how to do it, maybe half an hour, or seeing 7 people up top, and I think I've only seen 1 so far. I was briefly in the other room, and hopefully 1 or all, well, 1 didn't, but hopefully 6 of those 7 will eat 9, 8, 9. No, just kidding. We'll say something. And I hope I can help. I have been struggling lately, and well, I'll save that part. I'm not entirely sure. Ages ago, when it wasn't as much a shared channel, the other person, they were getting some profit from some surprising profit. They've even touched some from YouTube on their YouTube channel, and it is monetized. So, although I'm not seeing, I saw it before I clicked go live, but I'm otherwise not seeing anything about it. I don't know how that works though. I don't know how the payment comes. But I mean, heck, if somebody appreciates and felt called to do so in appreciation, then why not, right? So you can see the title. And also, I'm also very happy to know that there are a lot of religious people out there, as the viewer goes, that actually are accepting of this stuff now, because I think it's just more mainstream now. Of course, spiritual things, in the media aren't always real. But if it's like shows where people are channeling people's loved ones, I feel it is mostly. I also feel that ghosts are fictional, or that they might be what a human transitions to, if not an animal, or if also an animal maybe, before becoming angelic form. So that's kind of a neat look. So I'm watching. I don't usually give myself a time limit, but since I just did a long podcast before, of course, if there's gaps where there's nobody here, like, I really hope that I can at least help out one person, give them some comfort in some way from their loved one. It's one of those things too. It's hot button. People will either be all for it or all against it. But and for anybody that watches this after the fact, I mean, I don't know if this channel will like bump to the top just because of the topic when somebody searches it. But there's no space for rudeness, judgment. You haven't lived my life, had my experiences. But it's up to an individual and what it does for them. Hopefully positive things. Just a little bit sore and stiff. I've been a bit extra achy lately, and I was out earlier today, but I've been sitting for a while. So I'm going to give myself a little bit more room here. I'm going to bring this. Which one was it that I had in it? I don't even know, but I'm thinking this one. to the other room again. Big outfit. But it's also, I think, good to share, the personal experiences where I'm not doing it for someone else, even though that's also great and shows the realness. Because, well, there may still be naysayers, and again, we don't need to hear from them. But when you're doing it for your own well-being, your own healing, and it just kind of, surprises you and does something, and but also might help, somebody else. I think that that's great, Um, so first-hand experience, I guess you could call it in a way. Yeah. If you haven't, if any, it's also good to be curious, to learn by asking questions. So if you have any questions about the gift and me having it, feel free to ask. What I could do, and then I want to kind of, well, I go into kind of a different way of channeling energy when I'm channeling in a way. So, I mean, and I feel like I am slightly rusty, but whatever. But I mean, in the previous video, nearer the end especially, yeah, I mean, it was definitely happening. But what I could tell you is a little bit about my first experience, maybe. When I was 11, almost 12, my dad passed away in an auto accident. Now, they say kids have rare of this, and whether autism spectrum has anything to do with it, I don't know. But I think it was both. I was doing okay, maybe not right after. Obviously, you have to process it and grief and this and that. But then I was doing all right, like in my early 20s when that post I was mentioning in the previous one. And I also maybe simply just didn't sense. And I also hadn't lost as many people, in my early 20s. Some, but most came after that. And so at about, as I can remember, 25, maybe at the oldest 28, 38 now, I felt my dad. My mother was already upstairs sleeping. It was just the two of us that lived in the home. And I felt him say, my boy, my son, felt a little bit tense. And so, like, automatically knew who it was. First visit. What's most important is that you find something that you like and enjoy, that you can do, and that you feel comfortable with. And yes, 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 and yes. And I've often felt that. Of course, I was younger then, so I hadn't really thought about it as much. Although sometimes I try not to anyway, because it can be a struggle. The world's come a long way in accepting people's differences and challenges. Don't be scared to live life. Things will be okay. Which is really hard to guarantee, but very sweet to say, right? Although I knew that I would never likely forget it, and I don't remember if there was a visual. I think that's something that developed just the more I was using the ability. But I wrote it out. Who knows where now? And at the end, love, Dad, came out of the pen. So, too bad nobody was here to hear that. I really thought that the title, but again, it goes back to there's so much stuff on YouTube. There's so much stuff on the internet in general. And so, I mean, people are seeing these videos. At that past one, it said there had been 3 viewers. I thought there had been a few more than that, but maybe it was the same 3 people kept coming. Didn't say anything anytime. Who knows? People have their reasons. Hopefully they're not personal. And nice when they tell them every now and then. That way I don't have to wonder. And if this does go well, I might do them more often. But so far, it's not very motivating. Hopefully anybody that does watch this actually lets it play, listens to it, and doesn't just rush to the comments if they don't have something nice to say. I mean, we've been pretty lucky with on this channel that you know, there's not been. There's been some weird comments, but nothing like me and a personal, and you know, we don't deserve that kind of thing. And a few people that get it do, but some do maybe, but not us. Let's try and bring you in with a neat visual. That's not that neat. I've been curious who this is, or if it is somebody. Well, if it's supposed to be somebody specific. It's a group I'm in, and the admin shared it because it had been so successful. In fact, she has commented my comment. I'm a little bit worried if I ask who it was, she might not pay attention to the other links that I sent her, which are actually in a similar style. If she's wanting to just do it for fun and to be creative, I suggested a couple. One, our dog, and two, Glenn playing the pan flute. Do any of these comments say who that is? That's what I see. Nope. I just want to check something quickly. Although India is a big place, so. And honestly, do I want to invite him here? I mean, if he sees it, great. They are fairly spiritual people, but I don't know what he'd think of this, to be quite honest. Certain someone that comes to mind certainly didn't say much about that. But. Okay, so we're rolling for about 17 minutes. We've had one or two people briefly here, but something maybe came up for them. We have one here now. If you have any questions or would like to say, I'd love to hear from, and you leave. That's great. I want to just be sitting here looking at my phone, but if this isn't very engaging, and I did just do a long podcast before this, I mean, what else is there to do? Well, I'm trying to make this a successful podcast as well, right? I will say though, when I do channel for others and it's accurate and everything, it's really quite cool. And I haven't even that on Facebook because I don't really want to send her that. I could send them an email, and it's really, it's like, oh wow, I was spot on, and oh wow, it did something positive for someone. Cool. I'd like for him to see how this is going, to be honest. So, just gonna send a quick email to somebody. Although that would be attached to the thing too, but. Whoops, it's not all going to be the same font size, but whatever. Literally, like, you know, I think 15 more minutes, you know, with the size of YouTube is plenty. And if this doesn't go anywhere much further in that time, then I'm kind of going to think it's not meant to. Like I say, I don't want to just be recording myself looking at my phone. You know, like this was supposed to be helping others. So Roger, if you do see this later, since I just emailed you, like, and I don't know what your YouTube name goes by, but anyway, hopefully not your name, but um, basically, you can see the struggle is real sometimes. But it's someone I had a session with, and yeah, no, but I personally didn't know him that well. He knew Glenn a little bit, and he was pretty happy with, he didn't say a ton in response, but he was pretty happy with what was sent instantly, even though there was postal strike. Well, Vicky knows that about us, and I'm thinking, I have a feeling what's her face would be fine with it. I'd like to say he would be too, but I don't know. I think so. I can't remember what group I found him in. I don't see a channeling one very often, but I know there is one. Well, at least there's been some content in this video. If there's not any, I think you just saw got some motion there. If there's no channeling, other than maybe there was a little bit at the beginning, I can't remember now. I think I've just been talking about it a little bit. But like I say, the previous video that I posted under the live section, near the end, especially middle to end, there was, and you're welcome to check that out and comment. Mm-hmm. That was cool when someone else think of that too. At the same time, while I'm doing what I'm doing, if any of my loved ones do want to pipe in, then possibly. And first of all, I'm trying to figure out which of them, because there is a lot of them. I mean, just because I've heard from two of them already doesn't mean that I wouldn't again right now, but well, and there is a slight reason why I'm thinking it could be this one, but honestly, before I even thought of how this was kind of ironic, I did feel it's also ironic because of the coworker connection in the previous one, that it's my former coworker Marianne, who in the one where the still is art and like a shelf, fairly recently, there was some channeling in that too, actually. Just saying, this group is one that you created not that long ago. It's fairly small. It has a former contact. She says, but remind yourself with this one, if it's helpful, why? She had a profile. She was a little slow, a little dense, I found, unfortunately. That's so mean, but. And she says, and you've got a very kind heart. You're not a mean person. And she says, but you do deserve to be understood and to be talking with people that are, able to have, good conversations. So perhaps one just tuned in. Well, I've been rolling for a little while, and the other person left. So at the moment, you're the only one. You can see the title, and if you have any questions, welcome to ask. If and you left, so whatever. It's just a matter of, I don't know if Celeste really feels it. But we'll find out when I invite her. I think he was in the men's mental health group. I'll be right back. I don't know about inviting Kathy or Wi-Fi. I don't know, maybe you can tell me that they joined, and I can check back later. Yeah. Don't necessarily want to forget this down here and have it. Yeah, no, for the rest of the evening, well, 2000 was event tomorrow as Thursday after all this waiting. But it's not even like a, yeah, but anyway, it is what it is, as they say. I'm slightly surprised, but it hasn't been super long, but how quiet this video is because, like I say, we've all lost somebody. Even if it's not somebody that's been super close to us. A lot of people these day and ages have been to meetings before. And of course, there's some people that don't agree with it. And if they're purposely scrolling past so fast that doesn't even acknowledge them at the top for a few seconds, then, you know, it, like some of the big ones say, you know, it isn't our, you know, people can believe what they want to believe is true, but it isn't. I don't know. It's kind of cool to see a skeptic become less of a skeptic, however that happens. But it, guess I would say it's not the main goal. So I'm gonna try and put these all into one. Actually, I just don't want that to get the wrong impression. You know, these are both waters. What happens is I have sensitive teeth, and so I can't do water right from out of the fridge. And one of these is colder than others, even though they've both been up here for about the same time now. But I guess one was already out of the fridge. So, before you even acknowledge them, they're gone. You're like, you're just talking about water, like there's no, you know, just kidding. Water is life. Kind of, you know, makes up a lot of it. Ooh, that's weird. Okay. For a moment there, it looks like a grass. I'm just checking another tab for a moment. I'll be back with you. And I thought it was saying there was 2 new things, but then I'm not seeing them. So I don't know. The very little bit of channeling I did in this one probably didn't really showcase to see the previous one. And I think what I'm going to say at this point, too, is that for the next 10, 15 minutes, unless, well, I was going to say unless you see comments, but if they come during the live stream, it seems like lately, or since I've been doing them, that they don't show after it's posted. But they might put some likes as well. They might just show it in the comments, or they might put some likes. So if it has reactions, then maybe there's been some activity in this. Or like I say, you can always comment if you're seeing this after the fact. But you can always skip ahead too, right? And see if there's anything. And I don't know because I don't know. It's live, I didn't invite anybody, but might show after the fact. I mean, I don't remember where that. Oh, right. She lives in two places, Costa Rica and Salt Lake City for some reason. One might be a similar time zone, but she's a very busy person. And then the other one, States, and then there's one Indonesia, and then there's one New Zealand. I'm tempted to send to him if he's online right now. And that device was working, so maybe I'll take a quick stretch, go downstairs, go get that, see what's happening. Because he's Maori, but he's also kind of spiritual in various ways. That was more ironic. That time when I went down, I would say a bit more ironic. The song that was on the radio was "Don't Stop Believing, Hold On to the Feeling." Yeah. So. I have to make it work. This message is actually working pretty good today. I've used it last time. I'm really thinking of just seeing if I can invite some people in here. I don't know if he's a believer in it though. Doing everything to get the thrill. Someone roll the dice. One more. Glenn's at work, so I can't invite him. Time. I mean, this one makes me think of Clark, but also hold back on that too. I need some dental work done, but I also want to have more consistent sense of purpose too. If there was people here, I'd pay attention to them, but there isn't, so I won't. Oh, as soon as I say it, though, somebody tunes in. It was quiet for a little bit there. So I'm not going to be rolling much longer, but there's the title. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to say, does my, and you left, so no, just kidding. And some people just like get a career and they're successful so easily. It's not just about that, but I mean, it's certainly an aspect. Shooby dooby 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 doo. One high. Don't stop believing. Hold on to that feeling. I have a feeling she'd be okay with it. Ironic because I know somebody, the person whose page I'm on, who's not a viewer or anything, I knew somebody who had the same first name as this other person I'm about to send to. And with that last name. Even though the page loads, the messages are being very slow to send through on this tab. It may not actually even be doing so. I'm just going to try one other tab. That is actually quite deep, though. Removes what stops them from growing. The hard part can be identifying that, really. It's just not seeming to work. But it's confusing because it's loading. Well, this is the one I used earlier today. I'm just going to try it one more time. One more time. And then I'll come back to the YouTube tab. I might go a smidgen longer than intended, but not much. My friend from New Zealand looks like he just came online, so okay, it wouldn't load. Actually, but I know what to do when it doesn't. I don't even know what that is. And do that right at the top, that's why. The tab's being slow. Then when it does that, then you do this. Okay, it's coming here. It's coming now. Then I'm going to paste, put that there. And then I'm going to do other things. Pretty much. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Wow, there's like 50 comments when I come out. But we do have a viewer, the only one here at the moment. And I think you just got here. If not, sorry for the delay in me getting back to the things here. And you left, so maybe I'm not sorry. You should be. What time is it in the Zealand of the New? And I don't know what's the Facebook user at the top of the inbox first name. 2, 1, 12, 11, 10, 58, almost 11. right back. Feel free to see the comment and comment below, and I'll be right back. They left. Okay, we have two people. I'm just quickly sending something to that's one. But see the comment. Feel free to ask questions about that, or if there's anybody that comes to your mind that you'd like to hear from, and you left whatever. I'm just typing something quickly to somebody, and then I'll be back to the video for about 15, 20 minutes. And yeah, if they left. Just quickly typing something to somebody, and then I'll be back because I see that we do have somebody just tune in. Only one that's here at the moment, but I welcome you to check out the title and either ask anything that comes to mind from that, or if there's somebody that say, based on the title, I'd love to hear from my, and you left or whatever. Next person's on their own to figure it out. But yeah, my heart's in the right place. I really did hope to help somebody. I really didn't plan to go this long either, but sometimes it happens. So far, I'm only about 3 minutes past what I said I would go. And I keep thinking, if I give it 5 or 10 minutes more, somebody will come and will say something. It just doesn't seem to be happening with this one. And it can be very hit and miss, that's for sure. So don't mind me as I falling off the table behind me. Ooh, good thing I didn't put a hole in that. Oh. Okay. I just don't know how monetization really works these days. So please know that I'm hesitant to say much until they left. Okay, I didn't say much. Then what are you doing a video for? Just kidding. But if I'm not here, I don't think anybody's going to say anything. Unless the title does spark something. Maybe they'll think, oh, I'll get to their comment afterwards, which I would. But if I can get to it live, verbally, especially since the live chat doesn't show afterwards. So actually, that's something to remember for anybody who's shy, is that, and I'm pretty good at catching it while it's live, but the live chat I've noticed, I noticed on somebody else's channel too, I think, does not show, or it depends what device you're on, maybe, I don't know. Although I think I looked on both devices once at least. It just doesn't show after the live's done. But anything that comes afterwards would. So I'm tempted to try something. But I don't know. I am pretty tired. And I even though I have done a little bit in the past video, previous video, I am still fairly rusty. But I'm just thinking, this one friend that I have in New Zealand who might see this afterwards, although it's getting a bit long, but it's still a holiday. If it might be worth trying to see. I think he's really open to this kind of stuff, but I'm not entirely sure. But if it might be worth him, this one, me trying to channel maybe one of his loved ones that nobody else is here, just so that you can see it in a bit more action. Though, like I said, there's the previous video near the latter part, but because it really hasn't been, because nobody said anything really. And I'm trying to give this video some content, but it's just been one of those videos. And I'm wondering if it might be worth trying to do that and then to say, oh, by the way, guess who came up? But I don't know. Two things. I'm not too sure. I could just say it was spontaneous, and that's honestly the easiest way to get this stuff to happen. But I am kind of in a way sitting here trying to almost will it to for this one particular person. And he's not watching the YouTube video, or he's not available at the moment. And so I don't know if he'd want me to do it here. But I know that there are people out there who wouldn't mind. So where are you? At this point, should I go for it being a full hour? Practically. But definitely finishing by 4:30. Doesn't really work, but it's a ride. So I'm definitely gonna stop in the next 20 minutes probably. But if there's a good back and forth going on happening, in the chat, then I might extend it. You might get lucky and I might extend it. Get lucky. I'm wondering, just for a moment here. I don't like that, nor do I like the sound it makes. I've never seen him in it. I know that this might not be everyone's style. It really is. It looks like hunting wear. and I'm not into hunting, so I don't know if it turns people off. That being said, just because this works does not necessarily mean that it's because of the church. I can always ask you. So let's kind of look at this. Keep finding the students that do it. They better, or else. But the thing about this is it almost feels like a cost. It also kind of fits tight and it doesn't cover up the writing. So just a moment. This is not a show though. This is not something where it's like just up and they pretend. I don't know that. Well, it's not particularly. Oh, sorry, son. Sorry. I haven't worn this in a while. I've had this since I was a teenager, I think, maybe possible. I'll be right back. You should wear things like this more often. I don't know if I like the feel of it though. Hey, Sonny, what you got? What you doing? Doing good? I'll be right down. I really would like it at this touch. Not flat, you know. I want to use that as a bag with more room in it because there's not much of the other one. Or I could just keep my bag. I don't want to miss things, but I don't go from the room very often. But if he's at the piano, so I think we should bring a hat. If not, look for anything else that you can do what you want. You know, to make it and work. But he's been at work all day after being away for 3 days, so I guess not too much of a risk of having lost the job. Possibly no risk, but there was a bit of a worry. But he got the doctor's note that he needed, so hopefully he won't start barking sitting there. And we do have some plants there, but they're not huge. But the dog is sitting on the stairs looking out the window. Oh, you're sitting there so tall and nice. I like out here. Just kidding. Don't want my crossed arms to give the wrong impression, but I feel like crossing them. I don't want to have what could be called reading eyes. Although if I'm talking on the comments, then I guess I would. But but I kind of want to multitask. Oh, but we do have someone that just tuned in. So if there's any thoughts on the title, I welcome you to say them. I also kind of want to try something. Perhaps. I think I do. So stay with us. If you choose to comment, you're welcome to. Otherwise, I want to try something, and I hope that it won't it won't freak you out. But you laughed, so whatever. You were about to hear from your sister, and you laughed. That is the thing, though. I do think that media, certain movies and such, have possibly given people the, whether they watch this kind of stuff or not, they have gotten the wrong impression of those kind of things. You know, because that stuff is, a lot of it is trash. I mean, so that's the impression it gives. But and some people aren't as familiar with what this type of ability looks like and can be. So if they don't stay watching, they won't know. Oh, he's home early. So about 15 minutes. So I don't want to tell him this video is not doing well, so I'll just say it's upstairs. Well, I mean, it had moments, but if anybody after the fact wants to say anything, you're welcome.